Hi! Thanks for watching my video. Today I'm going to be doing a quick sort of like speedrun pronunciation and character name meaning guide for all the current and upcoming Liyue characters. Before you officially start, feel free to turn on the CC button for a better experience and look down below the description box for specific character timestamps. And a quick disclaimer, I don't have an official Chinese teaching license or anything like that. I'm simply a native Chinese speaker who grew up speaking and learning Chinese. And I know that many other YouTubers have done works like this before, and all of their videos that I have watched will be linked down below if you would like to reference them. But without further ado, let's just start with our soon-to-be playable character, Ganyu. So for Ganyu, her name is actually pretty straightforward. It just means sweet rain, with Gan being sweet and Yu being rain. And this is actually a reference to the newest release trailer where she talks about witnessing this like beautiful moment of seeing morning dew form and disappear on her favorite glazed lilies. Moving on to another upcoming character, Xiao. So he directly mentions in the game during the last Archon quest that his name means swiftness, but actually it has another meaning as well. So Xiao in Chinese folklore means a type of like demon monkey, which probably is also why he has the nickname of Conqueror of Demons. And it can also be represented by the left component of his name, which is Gui, and Gui in Chinese means like demons or ghosts. Moving on, we have Zhongli, whose correct pronunciation is actually Zhongli. And I know that many other people go in depth with his name, but essentially his name means to leave the bell. And in Chinese, bell is oftentimes represented by treasure, and I think it makes sense towards his character because he is a character of farewell after all. Next up, we have Ningguang. So in her context, Ning means to solidify or congeal, and Guang means light, and putting them together you would get solidifying the light. And this is represented in her ultimate ability where she is able to send up beams of light. Moving on, we have Keqing, whose correct pronunciation is actually Keqing. So in her context, Ke means to engrave, and Qing is referring to clear, namely clear skies, and putting them together you would get engraving a clear sky, which sort of insinuates the ideas that she wants to engrave peace into history. And moving on, we have Xiangling. So I feel like her name gets confused very often. I've heard people say Xingling and Xingling, but the correct pronunciation is Xiangling. So Xiang means to smell good, and Ling is a type of plant that looks like this. And I believe the correct English term is water chestnut, but I'm not 100% sure. But her name fits like her character as a chef very much because both characters in her name have something to do with food. And next up is Beidou. So Beidou's name is actually pretty straightforward as well. It's actually the shortened form of Beidou Qiqi, which is the Big Dipper in Chinese. And this makes sense considering that she is a sailor, and back in the days, sailors used stars to guide their way. Next on the list we have Qiqi. So I think Qiqi's name is actually pretty interesting because Qi in Chinese means 7 and it doesn't have any particular meaning, although it does have both good and bad connotations. The good connotation would be Qi, which means to start, and the bad would be Qi, which means to lie or to cheat. You could say that when she became a zombie, she was essentially given a second chance to start life again, but you could also say that she cheated death. So I feel like her name really could go both ways, and it really fits her character. Next up, I want to talk about Xingqiu. So Xingqiu's name just means to take a walk during the autumn time, and when thinking about taking a walk during the autumn time, many people might think of having a smooth river flowing next to them. And this is obviously represented in his gameplay, where Xingqiu is able to control water very smoothly, kind of like how you take a walk during the autumn time. And now we have Chongyun. I know that many other people pronounce his name as Zhongyun, but I believe the correct pronunciation according to how it's spelled is actually Chongyun, and essentially his name means a cloud on repeat. And this is tied to his physiological condition where he cannot have too much positive energy or otherwise he will explode. And this is similar to how a cloud gathers up moisture in the air and slowly expands until it explodes in the form of rain. And so obviously he is kind of like a cloud where he explodes when he gets too much positive energy, and it's a cycle that keeps on repeating. Moving on, I want to talk about Xingyan. So Xingyan just means spicy or like hard flames. And this is fitting to both her personality and her element of pyro. So she's said to be a rebellious girl who started rock and roll music in Liyue, which wasn't like seen or like heard before. So next up, I want to talk about some upcoming characters whose release dates haven't been confirmed yet. And the first one on the list is 𝙗𝙗𝙗. So 𝙗𝙗𝙗's name literally means walnut, and I do find it pretty funny. And even though we've never seen her in the actual game, we've heard of her from Qiqi, and apparently 𝙗𝙗 tries to bury Qiqi every time she sees her because she's a zombie. And I do think her name has something to do with her personality, because you could say that she's kind of a nutcase. Next, I want to talk about Baizhu. So Baizhu is actually a type of medicinal plant that looks like this. And this is very fitting towards his character, considering that he is the boss of Boo Pharmacy. And back in the days, even now, a lot of Chinese people use like medicinal plants instead of like Western medicine. So lastly on the list, we have Yaoyao, who is, I believe, the first upcoming Dendro character. So Yaoyao's name literally just means jade. And even though I don't know that much about her, currently she works under Ganyu, who also works at the Jade Chamber, so I believe it has something to do with that. And that's it. Thanks for watching my video. If you learned something today, make sure to give me a thumbs up as well as subscribe to my channel because it would really help me out. Happy gaming and see you next time.